Hey everyone, have you ever wondered what's really going on behind the scenes of your own thoughts? You know, those invisible blueprints that kind of dictate how you react to everything? Well, today we're going to dive deep and uncover two of the most powerful forces in our minds, schemas and core beliefs. I mean, we've all been there, right? A thought like this pops into your head, suddenly your heart sinks, your mind starts racing, and you immediately jump to the absolute worst conclusion. And in that moment, man, it feels so real. But what if I told you that thought is just the very, very tip of the iceberg? So the big question is, where does a powerful automatic thought like that actually come from? Is it just a random flicker of anxiety? Or is it connected to something, well, something much, much deeper? Let's dig in and find out. All right, to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to dig past the surface. We're going to start with the mind's foundational layer, something called our core beliefs. Okay, so core beliefs. Think of these as the very bedrock of how you see yourself and the world. They're the fundamental truths you hold about everything, often without even realizing you're holding them. So, what we're talking about here are these deeply embedded, totally unshakable ideas. Seriously, they're not just opinions. To your brain, they feel like straight-up facts. And they're usually formed really early in life, acting like mental shortcuts that help us make sense of a super complicated world. And over time, they become absolutely central to our identity and how we navigate, well, everything. Now, what makes these beliefs so incredibly powerful is that they're absolute. They deal in black and white terms, words like always and never. They're the fuel for those automatic thoughts we mentioned, which then, of course, guide our behaviors. And look, we all have positive core beliefs, for sure. But in therapy, the focus is usually on the negative ones, because those are the ones that tend to cause the most trouble. I mean, just think about a statement like, I am unlovable. Wow. That's not just a passing feeling you have on a bad day, right? That's a core belief. And it can color every single interaction and relationship you have. It becomes this powerful, guiding principle that shapes your decisions and reactions day in and day out. Okay, so if core beliefs are the fundamental building blocks, the individual bricks, then what are they building? Well, they're forming something even bigger. They're part of the mind's master blueprints, and that is what we call a schema. Right, so a schema isn't just a single belief, not at all. It's the entire framework. It's this huge, pervasive pattern that includes your thoughts, your emotions, your memories, even physical sensations, the whole shebang. It's literally the complete blueprint your brain uses to interpret everything that happens to you. It's how it makes the world feel predictable. So yeah, schemas are definitely the next level of complexity. Think of them as bundling together multiple beliefs, a bunch of feelings, and all sorts of memories, all under one single theme. And because they get so deeply ingrained over our entire lives, they're often the main focus of specific therapies that are designed to tackle these really persistent, lifelong patterns. So let's really connect the dots here, because it's super important to get this. These two concepts aren't separate things. They are deeply, deeply connected. A core belief is like one single, critical sentence inside the much, much larger story of a schema. Let me show you exactly how that plays out. Okay, let's go all the way back to that original thought we started with. It just pops into your head, right? Completely automatic. It's that immediate surface-level reaction to something happening. In this case, not getting a text back. But why that specific thought? Why jump to that conclusion? Well, it's because that thought is being fed by a deeper, more rigid rule you have about how the world works. And that rule, that's the core belief. People I love will always leave me. You can hear that absolute language, right? Always. And this is where we see the final layer. That thought and that belief, they don't just exist in a vacuum. Nope, they are both part of this massive mental blueprint, the abandonment and instability schema. It's this lifelong pattern of expecting and fearing that the people you care about are just going to disappear. It's a shortcut your brain takes based on everything it's learned before. All right, to make this crystal clear, let's just put them side by side and really break it down. Okay, so this table really lays it all out, doesn't it? A core belief is that specific statement like, I am worthless. But the schema it belongs to, that's the defectiveness and shame schema. That's a much broader, more complex structure that includes not just that belief, but also the feelings of shame, the memories of being criticized, that urge to hide from people. It really is the difference between a single sentence and an entire chapter of your life story. So why does any of this matter? Why is it so important to understand the difference between a single brick and the entire blueprint? Well, because it completely changes how we think about the possibility of change itself. And here it is. This is the key takeaway for today. Understanding these patterns isn't about feeling trapped or doomed. It is the exact opposite. I mean, think about it. You can't change a blueprint that you don't even know exists. By finally identifying your core beliefs and the schemas they're a part of, you get the power to start challenging them and maybe even redrawing them. So I'll leave you with